Hello, great people. There is an apparent crack in the wall of the ruling APC, and it is surprisingly between no other than the Tinubu caucus and the Buhari caucus. You will recall that the Buhari caucus is the CPC bloc, while the Tinubu caucus is the ACN bloc in the merger that produced the ruling All Progressive Congress. Now, there's been this cold war between the Buhari bloc and the Tinubu bloc because of performance in office and the general associated issues of governance. We'll be dissecting the issues, we'll be digging deep, we'll be unearthing all the things that have happened and the situation at this point in time. What I can say is, if you are an APC member, this video is definitely for you. And if you're a member of the opposition, whether you are from whether you have the ABGA, the Labour Party, the PDP, of course this video is for you. Now, before I give you the background that bring us to where we are, let me first of all tell you where we are. Now, the Buhari camp, the Katsina State chapter of the Nigerian Union of Journalists paid a courtesy call on Muhammadu Buhari. And when the Katsina State chapter of NUJ visited Buhari, Buhari was praising himself that in the history of Nigeria, that his government performed very well, that his government met economic and security issues during when he wrestled power from Goodluck Jonathan, but he left the country in a better state. Now, the Tinubu caucus were not having it because they know that if Buhari can come for Goodluck Jonathan, despite clear evidences that the Goodluck Jonathan presidency is better than his own, definitely he will come for the Tinubu administration as well. So the Tinubu boys, they know where Buhari is going, that if you can knock off the administration of Jonathan, of course, since Bola Tinubu came into office, the price of goods and services has skyrocketed. So you don't need to mention the administration of Bola Tinubu, but of course, your administration seems better than that of Bola Tinubu. But there are some things that Nigerians do not know. And now the Tinubu boys are taking it upon themselves to bring it to the know of Nigerians. So when Buhari made that statement, in a swift response, one Dr. Joseph Ono, former campaign spokesperson in the southeast from the Tinubu camp, gave a earthquaking response to Muhammadu Buhari. And I will share the details of some of it with you. But why is it Dr. Joseph Ono that responded? Why not the likes of Daniel Bola, Sunday Daura and co? Now, if you understand how politics is being played, right, they know that he's firing an indirect shot at Bola Tinubu, so they too decide to respond indirectly. And what is the background to this? We will recall that recently, Muhammadu Buhari was dragged to the Paris court by the Tinubu government to go and account for what happened in his administration as regards the Mambila power project that involves billions of dollars, about 6 billion US dollars, that the Buhari government needs to account. And Tinubu refused to shield Buhari because he believed that Buhari has caused more than enough problem for him, and he has been shielding his administration for the sake of political correctness. But now he's not ready to do that anymore. So Buhari was reluctant to go, but the Attorney General of the Federation, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, reportedly flew to Daura to compel Buhari to appear in the Paris court. And when Buhari got to the Paris court, Buhari was largely incoherent. He couldn't remember some of the things that happened in his administration. But that is another analysis for another day, because I need to dissect all what happened during the court process in Paris. And trust me, when I'm done with that, I'm going to bring the details to you. And that's why you need to subscribe to this channel if you are yet to. So the former campaign spokesperson responded to Muhammadu Buhari, and he shared some very detailed receipts to Muhammadu Buhari as regards security. The man noted that Muhammadu Buhari performed abysmally during his 8 years in office. And I need to read this to you, and I want you to listen attentively to this. He said, when you assumed office on May 29, 2015, the cumulative, that means the total number of people killed in Nigeria, according to the NST, was 34,972. Now we want to do some arithmetics here. 34,972. But from the day you assumed office, that is May 29, 2015 to May 29, 2023, during the 8 years tenure of Buhari, the debt figure rose to 98,083 as of May 16, not even May 29, as of May 16, 2023. So that means under Buhari's watch, 98,083 persons were killed in within the duration. So you want to imagine that the Tinubu camp is indirectly telling the Buhari camp that, my friend, you guys should behave yourself, because the wanton killings that occurred during the Buhari time has not occurred during the tenure of Bola Tinubu. And take note of something. This figure is for people that are killed, and if you do the subtraction, you would see that the total number of people that were killed during the Buhari presidency amounts to 61,111. Take note, 61,111. It is not people that died as as a result of natural causes. These are a result of banditry, murder assessment, and all that. And 61,111. So you can imagine that, man, a lot of things is going on in Nigeria, that such a figure would die during the reign of Muhammadu Buhari. That is an extreme figure. Now, the man said 27,311 persons were killed in his first term, while 35,800 were killed in his second term. And the Dr. Joseph Onu, that is apparently acting for in disguise for the Buhari camp, gave a year-by-year statistics, year-by-year from 2015, year statistics of the people that were killed during the Buhari administration. Apologies. Now, the man now said that what we know you for, you Muhammadu Buhari, is what happened during your presidency, whereby a Richard card seller, you would have heard that story, that one of the Buhari aides, that before Buhari became president, was selling Richard card. By the time Buhari would leave office, the guy has become a billionaire, not millionaire, billionaire. So you can imagine how profitable being within the government circle is. But then, I must not fail to say this, which is that it serves Bola Ahmed Tinubu right. Because, as I've always said earlier, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu appears to be, irrationally politically correct, in the sense that Muhammadu Buhari created problem for you. When you became president, you refused to talk. You refused to go after the boys of the Buhari, the boys in the Buhari camp that, perpetuated some form of monumental corruption in Nigeria. You left them. Now, some of them are now the one that is fighting you back. If you have pursued them hard, fast, and strong, definitely you would have recovered some of the loot to the benefit of Nigerians, and some of them will not be having the effrontery to be forming coalition against you now. So if it were to be the PDP that hand over to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, most of them would have been in prison by now. But for the sake of political correctness, he have left people in the Buhari camp, and that is one thing that I am very displeased with. Now, we need to look at something apart from the argument of Dr. Joseph Onu. It's a very long argument, very detailed. In fact, from that argument, it is difficult to believe that that man is speaking only for himself. I think he's speaking by proxy. Now, if you look at it, there's one thing that we need to identify, which is what Buhari meant and what he left. We need to identify two things: what Buhari meant, what he left, and the foundation laid for Tinubu to succeed. What Buhari met dollar at less than 200 naira. He left it at about 600 naira. Buhari left inflation on the low. Inflation was increased when by the time he's leaving office. So if you look at all the economic indices, and I say this with every sense of responsibility, that all the economic indices, if you look at it, you would see that you hardly find one that Buhari improved in when you compare his reign to that of Goodluck Jonathan. So for Buhari to now come out and be saying that his government is better than that of Jonathan, that itself is very disputable, and of course it is deceitful. But Buhari has this way of presenting himself as the best. Buhari has a way of presenting himself as Mr. Integrity. Buhari has a way of leveraging on people's hard work. And this is one thing that the Tinubu administration is beginning to resist. And shout out to President Bola Tinubu. It is better late than never. Shout out to the Tinubu camp, although I believe that now they didn't want to come out to face Buhari directly, but they went through the corner. The most important thing is Buhari should get the message and the truth should be laid bare before him. So kudos to them. Then let us look at it. The foundation Buhari laid for Tinubu to succeed, sincerely, Buhari did not lay any meaningful foundation for Tinubu to succeed. Nigeria operates a monoproduct economy dependent on oil. During the Buhari administration, they reportedly used oil, some of our oil deposits, as collateral for loan. The loans that were being approved during the Buhari administration, if they are to account for it, you will see that it is apparently a tiny figure that made it to the purse of Nigerians, or that was spent to the benefit of the ordinary Nigerians. And at the end of the day, Tinubu had nothing to work on. There's no money in the treasury. The oil that Tinubu is supposed to earn from has been used as collateral, and Tinubu has been bearing this pain. Buhari now wants to be feeling fly, and he now wants to be ailing himself, and that's why the Tinubu administration is firing back by proxy. So if you look at it, from the price of goods to the oil exploitation, the Buhari government did not perform in any way or manner whatsoever. In fact, if I'm to rate the Buhari government, I will call it a close disaster, if I don't want to use the word disaster directly. So Bola Tinubu should better come out and be revealing the truth to Nigerians now, because in 2027, he will be contesting against two things, which is the opposition and himself, which is his performance. So if he has never been a president before, he will be contesting only against the opposition. But if you are an incumbent president, you are contesting against yourself, and you are contesting against the opposition. And that is what is that yourself that you are contesting against? It is your performance while in office. Nigerians have already tasted what your administration can offer, and they have a sense of judgment of you compared to when they don't have a sense of judgment of you at the presidential level. But then, may the best happen to Nigeria, and whatever will happen that will lead to the benefit of Nigerians, may it happen. But one thing I can say is that the Tinubu presidency should stop shielding the Buhari administration. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Dr. Omoshola Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course, I have great interesting videos coming your way. Till I see you again, always remember that I love you all sincerely.